Oh, yeah!
Connecting to the internet.
No one makes a fool out of me. Get a load of this.
There's only one real Sonic.
Hey there, this is Rect for the Sonic Adventure 3 channel, and today we are going to be talking about the recent developments in Sonic news, namely new developments in Sonic Mania, and of course, Project Sonic 2 in 2017, which is now been revealed to be Sonic Forces. Joining me, I have Bryan Salter.
Hey guys, I'm Bryan Salter from Nerdword Entertainment.
We got Cerebus.
Hey, what's up?
DJ Game Freak.
What up?
Roger Rego Roger of Roger Van der Weide.
That's funny. Hi, yeah.
And Soul.
Yo, what up?
Anyway, so to get right onto this topic, besides me probably naming Roger's actual name, so a lot has happened in terms of Sonic in the past couple days.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly, we have a lot more information, like the fact that Flying Battery Zone is back, guys. Holy crap!
Hell yeah!
Oh yeah!
That's great.
You know, out of all the
Flying
stages
D-Batters.
they brought back, out of all the stages they bring back, that was not one I would expect, actually.
I mean,
I'm
yeah,
happy
come
about
on.
that, honestly.
Where's the other 5 green hills? Come on, man.
Exactly.
It's cool though because it's from a game that it hasn't really been drawn from that much in the other retro revivals we've had. So that's cool. And my friend Aerobian Angel, he's like so stoked about it. So there are obviously a lot of fans that are really taking that inclusion. So that's cool.
Oh, you know Arrow too? Okay, cool.
Yeah, he's a really good friend of mine. We go to school together.
Oh, nice. He's doing some stuff for me too. Anyway, moving on. All right. So, besides the amazing revelation in Mania, we have a lot more revelations in Sonic Forces. Mainly, it's called Sonic Forces. We also finally saw some gameplay, and it is boost gameplay, but seems like they're using the Wisps as boost power-ups instead of just always having boost now. Mostly designed after Generations / Colors, but taking a much darker turn. That's only one of the styles we've seen so far.
Wasn't that already the case with Sonic Colors? That the
True.
Wisp cost the boosting?
Oh, did Colors just make the Wisp the boost, or did they just add
Yeah.
to it?
Yeah.
Huh, all right. So, yeah. It's like Colors, then.
I never played it, so I don't know.
But yeah, I'm pretty
Alright.
sure they're not just there for the boosting, so I'm sure the puzzle stuff will come soon.
Oh yeah, going to be all kinds of new wisps, like the merchandisable wisp and the twice as merchandisable wisp.
Never sold toys. It's Wisp. I mean, you got one free with the game, but
Yeah.
I haven't really seen merchandise the Wisp, strangely enough.
I don't know why I thought that was literal at first.
No, but seriously. So we've got developments on that. What does everyone think of the footage we've seen so far?
I love it. I think it's the coolest thing.
Oh, let me see. Well, for me so far, I got tired of the gameplay a long time ago, but I can still play it. Tone wise, it looks like it might be all right, but I still need to see more of it. And the other character's not there, which is a loss for me. So that's pretty much it for now. I mean, it's only 30 seconds, right?
Yeah, it's like 40 seconds.
Yeah.
It's cool though because whenever I first saw everything, I feel like that was all I really needed to kind of get an idea of what tone this game is going to be mostly going for. And I love it because it kind of takes from like that really orange color corrected initial trailer we got and adds a splash of color to it. And I love that. Seeing this kind of color balance in Sonic Worlds, it works surprisingly well. So the tone and the visuals of the game are perfect in my book. The gameplay, maybe, we're not sure yet because it seems kind of just like more of the same, but the presentation value, excellent. I love it.
I love the color palette, yeah. I still want to see what the 2D gameplay is like, because we already know Modern Sonic's going to have 2D gameplay, and that's going to be a really make it or break it element of me, because I really despise the 2D level design of Colors and Lost World, but I kind of liked it in Generations and Unleashed, so depends on which direction it's going.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It is confirmed to come back. I wish it was not, but it is. Even with young Sonic again being in this game, and even with a completely 2D game coming out in the same year. Wow.
Yeah, it's really
exactly.
pathetic, the fourth.
And that new gameplay style is gonna have to be all 3D.
I'm kind
Yeah,
of mixed.
hopefully.
On one hand, the game graphically looks fantastic. I love the aesthetics. I love the shine, the shadows. I love the reflections and all that fancy stuff. It does have a lot of stuff being thrown at you. That's something I like. I'm just not a fan of the boost or the Wisp being integrated into the game again. Kind of killed it for me. I'm also I also like that color palette. I have to agree with Roger on that. The color palette is pretty nice. The robots still look generic though.
Its effect on the level makes up for it. Kind of reminds me of that Turtles in Time game where you have the big giant
No,
robot in the
not
background.
not the big death machines. I mean the smaller ones, the smaller
Oh,
bad
yeah,
guys,
those.
whatever they're called.
Oh,
Those Eggmans suck,
I don't
Yeah.
know. I think they're kind of cool. Maybe not the best ones we've got, but they're fine. They're acceptable.
better than Lost World.
Yeah.
What's the point of having modern Sonic in 2D sections when there's classic Sonic who was completely 2D? It just
Right.
doesn't make much sense.
Mhm.
He controls better in 2D as well because he's built for it.
Yeah. Yeah, it just
it's just
doesn't
played
make any
out at this
sense.
But yeah,
it's-
again, it's
it's
sort of a
redundant.
transition game. It's
Mhm.
they think this is what people have not actively yelled at, so they can keep going. Let's see. Besides that, so he's in this new dangerous world. Plot seems, as people have mentioned before, very sad because it's this world where Eggman has already won. Eggman's already taken over, and you're sort of fighting back. You're like the resistance. So that's why they had the whole, join the resistance
A
catchphrase. when it
resistance
first
full
came
of
up.
Sonics.
Without the
Yep.
Freedom Fighters.
Join the freedom fighter.
Yeah.
Basically,
times
all the
2.
characters are just in the background talking to Sonic via radio, which
That is lame
Wow,
as shit.
It's the voice actor's job to say lines and be funny.
yeah.
but I
I was-
thought about
Yes, the homing John.
Oh no, the homing shots.
Yeah, but let me see. Let me ask this. Did Eggman win, or is he just attacking? I thought he was just attacking.
No, apparently,
they said he
apparently
actually
in
won.
interviews,
Mike said he won. Looked like he just
Pollock
attacking.
said it,
I'm
but
not
maybe
sure.
it's a joke. Maybe he was joking. It's Mike Pollock, so you never know.
He's probably in the process of winning, and we kind of like stop him from winning completely.
That makes sense. Makes sense.
Pollock did say that this is a world where Sonic failed. So
Yeah, but it's
Sonic
Mike
can
Pollock,
make-
so
yeah.
big chance he's just joking.
Well, the way that they're putting
Yeah.
that kind of feeds into I don't want to say theory, but something that I've observed that could be the case is maybe the game takes place in the future because like there's going to be a time travel element somewhere in here, considering both like old and young Sonic are in it again. So maybe it takes place in a different time period, like the future.
That is considerable.
Yeah.
Like maybe
Yeah.
this is a direct follow up to Generations, where like the Sonics find out there's a new future where Eggman fucks everything over, and now they gotta
Except, you know,
find even more Sonics. Like I don't know.
Something tells me we're not getting any continuity.
Yeah.
Like
I don't think so
Sonic.
either. I
Yeah.
doubt it.
because
In
they
fact,
never
I even doubt they're gonna explain why the wisps are there. There's not gonna be any explanation. At all.
No.
Yeah, there's
The listeners. The
They won't
listeners
explain
there.
why classic Sonic is there.
Yeah, they say it's not a sequel to Sonic Generation, so I imagine they'll have their own self-contained reason for everything in the game happening.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, there's 3
And then
problems with this so far. That
Yeah.
they need a valid explanation why classic Sonic is even here. Why are the Wisps there? Because we thought they went back to Planet Wisp, and it really
World may never
baffles
know.
me.
What?
I forgot something. We don't know where this fits in the timeline. That's what I almost forgot.
What?
True.
Fine.
Oh. Yeah. Timeline 1. Sonic saves the world from time-changing anomaly. Timeline 2. Sonic gets candy and ice cream in the theme park.
Yep.
This is just as confusing
about
as the
chili
Zelda
dogs?
timeline.
What if this game
Yeah.
just wipes like colors onward and out of canon?
That would be a blessing.
Yes.
Be a blessing. But
Ouch.
I mean, we really don't know yet. There's a lot still to consider. I'm mostly holding out, and I think everyone's holding out just to see who's writing it, to see how much of that we got. I mean,
Yeah.
at this point, everyone's hoping it's not going to be Pontiff again. We more than anything, we just need the game to be objectively good as a game. So story is, as much as SA3 cares about story, is probably one of the less important things about this game right now. Though it would still be nice if it's decent.
Well, I thought Sonic Generations figured that out mostly, and especially since it's so close to Generations, think like, okay, now we can build on top of that finally. Like,
Yeah,
I
that
think
would
they
be
got the
nice.
core down
Yeah.
now.
This has been around for 10 years, so how much more do they need to do?
They
That is a
just
good
keep
question.
on moving on as it is. Like I feel like they have established something that they feel works. Like they went through the trouble of making Lost World and then realizing that it failed, so then they just went back to the style of the previous game and they're like, hey, let's just keep improving upon that because a lot of people like it. And I like it. I feel a lot of us do, and I feel that they can make it even closer to that ideal style that we're looking for in terms of gameplay. So they're mostly good on that regard, and I'm glad that they made that decision.
Yeah, I always wanted a continuation on Generations, but as an actual game and not just a bunch of levels.
Basically an arcade.
I can see that.
The one thing that was crazy about Lost World is I seen a comment about this on YouTube. This was just a couple days ago. We all know by now that people have been modding levels in the Lost World for the PC version, and somebody said that the gameplay works a lot better outside of that game in the other mods. So I don't even think that Lost World failed due to gameplay. It was really the level design itself.
Yeah, it was.
That's
I
interesting.
can agree with you on that one because yesterday I played through Emerald Coast and Windy Valley on Lost World, and I had more fun with those levels than the actual levels in Lost World itself.
I can see that.
It's really the presentation and execution of Lost World as a whole.
One thing I've
Right.
noticed about the gameplay style of Force is, the fact that wisps are going to be our main method of boosting. It's not rings anymore, so it's not going to be as easy to continuously boost all the time. So maybe it won't be so much of a, straight line automatic roller coaster game. Boosting is probably going to be something that's harder to achieve. So the game will probably spend more time on things like platforming and precise controls, which is a good thing.
Yeah, but the problem is because they're still relying on 2D and modern Sonic gameplay, that gives me the implication, or at least the fear, they still haven't figured out how to fit 3D platforming into modern Sonic gameplay. Otherwise, they wouldn't need to rely on that thing anymore.
Yeah, that's
Because
the
you
weird
notice
thing.
there's not really a lot of platforming that isn't just basically the equivalent of Dragon's Lair action commands in the 3D levels.
Yeah.
Press
But
this button to get
Generations
this
had
thing
a
in
few
time.
moments. Even
Generations
Elise
did.
had it.
Look at the moments in City Escape and Generations. They got it a little bit, like where you actually had some free roaming platforming for a little bit in City Escape that reminds you of SA2.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you still gotta remember the majority of the levels were mostly built for the boost.
Yeah, they were.
That's
It's
my
like-
concern for this.
Yeah, you can't really do that in an open field at that certain speed, especially like all the platforming. If you got boost, then chances are you gotta make a linear path like they've been doing since Sonic Rush, I believe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair.
So if this game actually had adventure gameplay, I think they would have had a much more solid foundation with the speed, the platforming, the exploration, all that good stuff. But
I can see that.
I feel that they kind of forgot how to make a good, solid adventure-like experience. But I guess that's when we have to find out about this third gameplay style that they're keeping secret right now.
Yeah, that's really
Whatever it
it.
is, Boom Sonic. Boom Sonic with boom gameplay. Walk around
If it
empty
was-
field for 3 minutes.
Oh boy.
I had a
I mean-
different thought because it really seems to go with this military theme, right? And even the title Sonic Forces. So I was thinking it probably has to do something with that. So maybe the Wisps are like soldiers in this game where you can kind of order them to attack. I'm kind of thinking of Misadventures of Tron Bomb. You can order the servos to attack.
See me as like
sounds cool.
see me as like a strategy game that you think might be the third style.
Yeah, it could be. At least then the war makes sense because now the war is mostly story or aesthetic and not really in the gameplay.
Imagine if you're playing as the gun general.
That was awesome.
Actually, speaking of gun, during the early parts of the 40-second gameplay video, there was actually gun bullets being shot at the giant robots. I'm thinking gun is involved in this story.
I remember somebody saying something about that.
Shadow is back.
Because
He's gonna use
if you really paid attention, you would notice a lot of gunfire being shot at the giant death machines. So
I mean, were the bullets actually labeled with the gun logo? That would be pretty great.
It's like bullets labeled with gun, but no, it's just a thought. I don't know if they'll actually be in the story.
If
That's
gun is
fair.
in
Oh,
the
maybe
story,
it's Maybe it's just Omega. Maybe they finally remember Omega was a character that everybody liked.
Well,
Yeah, I
sorry
mean,
about that.
any one of those would be a good thing, though. I mean, I'd like to see Gun get brought back.
if Gun's in the game, I hope that Shadow plays a good role in the story, and if he does, I'd love to have him as a bonus, either DLC or unlockable character for the
DLC.
modern Sonic stages, because I imagine he won't have a whole lot to do with the story, and if he's there, it'd be a good opportunity.
This also gives me another theory. Sonic might finally be catching up to the army game trend, and we've got either a first person or behind the back shooter with some sort of soldier as one of the modes.
We at least need to be a third person shooter. Gears of War, people. Come on.
So basically, like, say, play as Omega, you'll have like Doom or something or
Yeah.
Contra.
No, it's a new character. It's Shooty the gun. It's an
Shadow
intro
with a
gun.
gun.
Shadow the gun. You just literally just play as a gun.
Metal
That's,
Sonic.
that just sounds pretty good.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Metal
Just
Sonic,
a-
that'd be kind of
just a
cool,
gun
actually,
with
Metal
legs.
Sonic.
Just to piss people
I
off.
can't imagine.
I mean-
that's the part that's the weirdest to me is that they say new character, but not like how weird would it be if you had 3 characters that are playable? One is Sonic, another one is Sonic, and then the third one is someone who isn't Sonic.
That's weird.
That seems so unbalanced to me.
Nuts.
So that's what leads me to believe that it's very likely that there's some other version of Sonic that's playable. I don't think it'll be the quote-unquote Dreamcast era Sonic because I feel like modern Sonic is what that is to Sega and Sonic Team. Boom Sonic's kind of out of the question, so maybe it's like my only theory is it like a future dystopian like version of
Lego
Sonic that's
Sonic.
from this time period?
Lego Sonic.
Oh God.
Fleetway Sonic. Go with Fleetway.
What if it's King Sonic from the Object Comics?
Oh man.
Oh, God.
Yeah, we're just gonna be guessing forever what kind of Sonic it might be at this point. I feel.
I mean, that's what I think
it-
it's gonna be is another Sonic. That's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, it's gonna be
just
Sonics.
I just wish that they actually had a silhouette and at least a hint to what this character is. 'Cause
They'll let us
they've
know
never
at
been this
E3. We'll know
secretive.
who it is after E3, I'm
They,
sure.
they've never been this secretive about a new character before, so it's
Maybe they're trying to avoid the early influx of porn.
probably.
Good luck with that.
Well,
Well,
yeah, that's gonna happen with anything anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's no stopping it. But yeah, the new character has my attention. I don't know what's relevance it has to the story. I just wish we could play as all the other characters and see from their perspective.
Honestly,
I mean,
at this point, I think the new character is just an NPC like Yacker, and the third gameplay is maybe just flying as a tornado or just a hub or something. I really don't think we get a third actual main character anymore.
That's actually a good point. It could be like tornado levels.
I would not be
Yeah.
opposed to that. That's pretty cool.
I was gonna say my one hope is that this new character is a recurring character, not just a one-shot thing. You know,
Yeah.
I guess it depends on its involvement in the story.
It's a new Wisp.
I hope this new character is actually a character and not just a generic NPC that's just there just to be there.
Nah,
It's Yacker too. Yackerina.
That's
I don't
everybody
Girlfriend.
else at this point nowadays.
Yeah.
I don't think there's at least one actual Sonic game where they introduce a new character and you don't get to play as it, aside from Ephelis.
Marine.
The Deadly
Marine,
Six.
Marine too. And Marine. Oh, she has so much potential. But yeah, I'm
She's-
curious on the third gameplay style.
She's never coming back after Sticks.
Probably not.
No,
Because
she
people are gonna be
isn't.
like,
No.
is that the younger sister of Styx?
If they do that, I wouldn't be surprised if they do that.
But they'll
I-
bring Cream back for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Oh
Just-
yeah, they're gonna
just-
do that.
Cream and cheese are the new playable level. Cheese just decimates everything.
2017, we still don't know where Chocola is.
Oh shit, that's right.
Yeah.
I still don't think it's impossible for them to bring in Styx into the modern games. I think they could find a way to adapt her into the modern games. I don't really want that, but it's something that's completely possible.
Well,
They're gonna have to reboot her.
I've always said that introducing anything Boom related into this game is not only it's basically a suicide mission, you know?
Yeah,
It is,
like-
but we don't know. This has probably been worked on since before Boom released, you know. So it might be
Yeah.
too late to pull back.
I think it's been in development since before Sonic Mania started development. Because why else would there be this redundancy of 2 games with classic Sonic in them?
I believe it's
Yeah.
been in production since Lost World was in production.
That
I
makes
thought
sense.
so
Like,
too.
That's usually how it goes. It's usually like 4 or 5 games back.
I can bring up, for example, that at one point I was doing an interview with Kevin Eva as part of the Sonic show. And when he was working at Sega, he was saying they actually made Generations before Colors, and they made Planet Wisp in Generations before they made it in Colors. So they were able to downscale it for Colors.
Oh, that's kind of weird.
Wow.
I've never heard that before.
That's interesting.
That's the first time I've heard of that sort of development.
It's just the
cycle.
Generations took longer to finish.
I believe
Wow.
it. Yeah, because like there's always the A team and the B team, and the B team
Yeah.
was the one that made Colors and Lost World, and the A team is obviously the one making this game. So that's
Yeah.
cool.
So I can look. I can appreciate that. So who knows what's going to be happening? Let's see. Is there anything else to discuss about these games here? I don't really think the social media is going to have any great impact on them. I mean, we're getting, we're probably going to get the big Adventure 3 thing, but I doubt they're going to have any real impact on the official Sonic games at this point. So I think
Probably
we can rest
not,
easy
nah.
there.
I think it is going to continue the way it is. If I can vent for a second about the presentation at South by Southwest itself, you guys watched that, right? The presentation.
Yeah.
So
I
it
did.
starts
Sadly.
off. It starts off with a slide of Sonic.
Yeah.
That
I was so mad at that.
Trust me.
Yeah, that's what annoyed me because I was like, I knew they weren't gonna let this die.
Can someone just fire Weber already? Dang.
I mean, to be fair, there's literally no grounds. He has brought a bigger fan base to Sonic, just not people who are buying the games.
Yeah, and that and just people just trolling basically.
But that being said,
You're gonna have to edit that out.
Yeah, I have to edit that out. That being said, I think we're all looking forward to seeing more film 2017. There's not too much more we can discuss. Again, we know the other characters there. We wish they were playable. Probably going to be another Sonic as the third gameplay option, and it's Classic's definitely gonna be the second one. Come on.
Yeah.
So I guess really at this point we just have to wait and see what more is revealed. One other thing we can talk about: the theme song for Sonic Forces has been released, and it sounds pretty interesting.
Excellent. I love it so much.
Now, here's the funny thing: when I listen to this song, I can feel I personally feel the song doesn't really have its own identity so much, but instead it's like an amalgamation of a bunch of the styles of other Sonic songs. If you listen to it, it starts off with the big orchestral strings thing that sort of sounds like his world. It's got the same kind of progression. Mm-hmm. And then it bursts into this shredding guitar that kind of sounds like Sonic Riders. And then it just keeps on going more and more into all these different Sonic game styles. It even goes a little Lost World in terms of the orchestra from there. It feels like this is the composers, as a composer I can say this, it feels like this is the composers trying a bunch of different things from Sonic's past, the more serious, badass parts of Sonic's past, to find out who Sonic is again. And I can respect that.
Yeah, that's cool. It's good that we have guitars again. That's really nice.
Mm-hmm. I'm happy that there's emphasis on the theme song at all.
Did you guys play Sonic Runners? Are you guys familiar with the music from that game?
I play Sonic Runners. I'm familiar with it.
Yeah, the music. This reminds me a lot of the musical direction in Sonic Runners, and that's not a problem to me at all, because I love that game's music.
Yeah.
This is absolutely a step in the right direction. I love Tomoya Otani. He's probably overall my favorite Sonic composer, and I think he's improving even more with this new track.
Actually, on the note of it being said that it sounds a bit like an anime intro, and especially with the influence coming from Runners, I can definitely see that happening because one of the seasonal tracks from Runners literally took the entire chorus from the ending of Haruhi Suzumiya. The same chord progression and everything.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
So I'm saying, you know what? Okay.
That ending piano, though.
Yeah.
That ending piano was actually got a very atmospheric dystopian feel to it.
Yeah, it makes it feel like this is going to be the first Sonic game that's going to be serious in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it gives that sort of you missed this tone, so we're bringing it back.
You missed vocal themes, we're bringing those back.
And watch people compare to the Shadow the Hedgehog and Sonic 06.
Oh
wait,
yeah, even though early dark environments do not equal a grim dark game, it just means that it's just the setting. We don't know much about the scenarios that happen within the story yet.
It's not about serious; it's about spectacle. I don't mind jokes or a little light tone. Just be spectacular. That's what we've been missing a long time.
Be big about it.
Really.
If you make a joke, don't make a little joke. Make a big joke. No, God, no, not that big. Stop.
And then don't explain it after it's finished.
Energetic, it feels natural, and not Eggman has a funny voice.
Let it feel.
And I don't mind Big the Cat jokes. If Big the Cat is fighting in that war, that could be hilarious.
Yeah, that could be great. If he pulls up in a mech and he's actually badass, that's perfect.
Dude, they should absolutely do that with Big. Holy shit, that'd be great.
Yeah, if you actually make the jokes in character and feel organic and not shoved in your face and look in the camera like, hey, we made a joke. Yeah, was it funny?
Yeah.
But, like in Sonic Colors mostly, and maybe bits of Lost World. But you know, if you, I'm not against comedy. I like to laugh. I'm just not very fond of forced comedy. That's my
I
thing.
Too
understand.
meta, energy sucking, and too self-obsessed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you gotta stop the action just to tell a joke. That's not how it works.
No, it should contribute to the flow.
It's like,
And if it
yeah, this
does,
is not.
Teen Titans
is
Go
not
been doing that for a long time. Look at them.
No.
I mean, when it all boils down to it, I think at the very end, the
Yeah.
important thing about it is that we don't know yet. We'll have to wait and see, and hopefully we
probably.
have a Japanese writer, and hopefully it's not translated by like the equivalent of Nintendo Treehouse.
My
Give it to someone who
impression
can actually translate it.
Yeah.
I don't think Pontiac and Graf are back this time. I think they got the message that no one really likes them.
I think they been
Yeah.
got the message that nobody likes them.
Yeah,
I would be
because I believe Pontaf, a couple years ago, or at least a year ago, said he doesn't talk about Sonic to anybody anymore. So
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean he doesn't work on it.
It doesn't mean he
So
doesn't work on
basically-
it, but yeah.
So basically, Fire and Ice is pretty much his swan song of a
Yeah.
Sonic piece of Sonic media.
At least he went
It's
out
not-
with a decent
yeah.
story. Well,
It's just
Yeah.
weird how
it is.
it's just strange how they tell us who the director is, the guy who did 06, but not who the writer is. You know, it's kind of odd to me because
I mean, it could
all
be
we
that they're
know-
holding out. Yeah.
for all we know, it could be the same guy who wrote for Mario and Sonic at the Rio Olympic Games or something.
I
Yeah.
hope they can get
At least the
Shiro
characters
back.
were in character in that game.
Oh yeah. Oh man, Rio Olympics is funny. It's actually, yeah.
It actually leads me to believe they got the same
yeah.
writer for that for this game. So
I really
I'm-
hope they can get Shiro Michaela back.
yeah, I miss Shiro because I feel like he really gets Sonic.
He does. Better than
really
any of the
does.
other writers that have ever done these games before.
I know. I mean, you may not like Sonic and the Black Knight's gameplay or anything, but you can't deny that writing is some of the best in the
It
series.
had great cutscenes, yeah.
Yeah, it had a great atmosphere, it had a great balance of tone, it had outstanding voice acting from Jason Griffith. Like,
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah,
Sadly, we're not getting him back, but
yeah.
him or
But-
Ryan Drummond.
I
No.
actually saw in the live stream of the panel that there were mostly people asking for Ryan Drummond and Jason Griffith to come back. Like no
Wow.
one was talking about barely anyone was talking about Roger Craig Smith. They were wanting Jason or Ryan.
wow, that's gotta hurt.
Yeah,
I mean, Roger is not a bad voice actor. He's just not a good.
not a good Sonic.
Like
Yeah.
if you compare his Sonic voice to like say Thomas on Regular Show, which is almost the same voice, he put
Yeah.
until the Russian spy plot. You can tell that he cares a lot more about the Thomas character,
Yeah.
and he does a much better
Yeah.
performance as him.
Mhm.
Well, I think
feels
Roger
that
could
way.
be a cool Sonic voice. It's just every single script he has was terrible. He hadn't been in
Yeah,
a-
true.
And the voice direction is usually pretty sloppy.
Yeah, he said
Yeah, I
he's
think-
coming back this time, and I think he's improved quite a bit over time, I believe. He was pretty alright in Lost World, as much as I don't really like that game's story. He did an okay job with the character's voice, and I think he could take that a step further here.
In Lego Dimensions, he also sounded
Yeah.
pretty decent.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's a
that's it.
different voice director there.
Mm-hmm.
I think he can do a
I mean-
serious Sonic fine. He just needs the right script in the right direction.
And let's hope he never has to deal with the Japanese voice director.
Please.
At least never get House of the Dead 2 quality. You know, at least then it's funny again.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
That would actually be funny. And where is that girl?
And Pollock has proven he can do a serious Eggman voice. That's why he doesn't really like to do that very much. He
Yeah.
prefers comedy.
Yeah,
But he can't. He has proven to be intimidating. He's no Dean Bristow, but he can pull it off.
He can. He has more like the childish glee side of Eggman, which can be even more disturbing if given the right script.
Yeah,
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
Instead
I
of
mean,
the old man hate.
I'm no fan of Lost World at all, but I actually like that scene where he was like, "As long as you can strangle a city, my hands are fine."
Yeah,
I
that's
was
pretty
like, I actually like that part. Yeah.
Again, it's just that
But-
the tone wasn't consistent. That's what made it seem forced. Like if you compare that to just like even just the laugh, like when he catches Sonic in the opening scene for Unleashed, like there's Eggman is this terrifying kid with all this power. He's like Porky from Earthbound,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah, I hope to see something like that expanded on in Forces, because I feel like he's got the opportunity to really show that off.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
And I'd like
because
to
he's
see
in the
it too.
perfect setting, he's in the perfect tone. He just needs that edge. He just needs that direction.
So I guess
set him Robotnik edge.
since there's not much else we can talk about what's been revealed so far, I guess
There's
we want
one
to talk.
thing we could talk about.
What
We
is
saw
that?
a close-up of the gameplay footage of Project Sonic Forces. That in the background you see the trees that very look like Sonic Lost World trees. Like I get the sense that they're trying to have the environment like combine Sonic Adventure with Sonic Lost World.
That's kind of cool. I think I think they're trying to add a sense of consistency now. They're trying to take elements from previous games and make them feel cohesive.
So that's interesting.
Yeah.
That they actually attempt to really mix it up and make it one whole instead of have every single game take place in a completely different dimension. Pretty
That's
much.
great. I'm so happy.
That is
they're
kind of
finally
neat,
doing
yeah.
that.
I'm actually down
Like
for
it has the bit of the realistic aesthetics of, say, 06 or Sonic Unleashed, but has the sort of cartoony feel of, like, say, Riders or something.
So now I'm curious how NPCs or just villagers going to look like. If they're going to be like Sonic Boom or Unleashed or Adventure. Or a combination of all, like
Oh my God.
Something like that would be
I
cool.
hope it's like the Dragon Ball Z movie History of Trunks. I hope the humans are like the humans in History of Trunks, where they're all scared for their lives and fear.
It seems that way. Seems that way because I hear that everywhere you look, there's just some Eggman imagery and Eggman's taking over and all this other stuff. It's like the bad future of Sonic CD in a way.
Now, here's a good question. Have we seen... I know we've seen Gunfire, but have we seen other humans besides Eggman?
No.
No.
Not since, like, say, Sonic Chronicles, I believe.
It was Sonic Unleashed was the last time Sonic and the Black Knight was the last time we saw humans.
Yeah,
It's breaking up.
Sonic and the Black Knight with Merlina. Yeah. And King Arthur, I guess you can count it. Even though he was just an illusion, but still, I actually like Merlina's design, but still, I hope we get to see more of Gun, because we haven't seen them in a long time. I hope we see more character expansion, even though they won't be playable. I highly doubt Shadow will be playable, since Tails, Amy, Knuckles, and the Chaotics aren't playable, which is a huge letdown.
It is, yeah. My impression overall, as a whole, of what we've seen revealed from this game is like we mentioned before, this is going to be a transition. This game's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be the ideal game we all hope for, but it is the largest step to that I feel we've had since Unleashed, probably. It's got that tone, it's got the color mixed with darkness, it's got the cool music, it's got the edginess, the attitude, but it seems like it's still learning from what they have done in previous recent games, and and like the positives that have come out of those. This, I feel, is a huge leap. We're not quite there yet. We're not gonna quite be there yet with this one, but we're so close, and I'm really happy about that.
It's basically taking like small baby steps in a way. Kind of it's taking small steps towards a much bigger universe for this franchise.
And that's great. That's really good.
I have one thought about it. I think one of the worst things about this is the marketing around it. Like, I think they should have been more open and honest more quickly about immediately stuff. Okay, it's going to be like Generations, but bigger. Because now we spent so long in that unclearness, and they play coy and mysterious for so long. I think a lot of people are actually disappointed in seeing it's exactly like Generations. Even me, even though I like that concept, but I've been in that mindset so long from, they're going to do something crazy, or they're working for 4 years on something big, that just seeing another Generations is kind of disappointing, even though it's exactly what I wanted. I think that the marketing should have been more honest.
It was kind of misleading. Azuka pretty much mislead everybody by saying it's a brand new experience, but it's just like Unleashed in colors and Generation.
Yeah, I feel that sort of reveal was not really worth the 2-year cryptic, vague silence. Like, so like Roger said, it should have been more honest, instead of just leaving us to guess and then give us this, and it's just like, you should have just told us this from the beginning, but whatever.
Because even though it's exactly what I want, but there's something just awkward about having such a big build up to, oh my god, what is this gonna be? And then it's just, it's another one of those.
I kind of knew I kind of knew this type of thing was going to happen, so I can't say I'm totally disappointed or angry or surprised. But you know,
No, I'm not.
it's
But
still,
I think people would have been more enthusiastic if it was more clear.
it has my head scratching a bit, and kind of I'm still baffled. But if you look at the comments, there are still people who are mixed. Like people are pissed off, people are happy. You know, it's a mess.
Yeah, and I think that's because Weber really
But
shouldn't have done all that mysterious stuff and all those riddles. I think it only
yeah,
did damage to the whole thing.
yeah. So I mean, not everyone likes the boost, not everyone likes the wisp. So, but at least we know that the wisps aren't just for everything else. It's just for boost, even though barely anyone likes the boost. But I feel that Project 2017, or I mean Sonic Forces, excuse me, might lead to a bigger, brighter, hopefully brighter future for Sonic from this point on.
I think it's time to wrap up. Anyone has any other closing thoughts?
I've said everything I can say. I'm really positive overall about everything that we've been shown. It might not be everything we possibly could have asked for right now, but I'm pretty satisfied. I think that the future is looking bright, personally.
Me too. It's exactly what I wanted. My brain is just in a weird state right now because of all the emotional manipulation. It went nowhere, but yeah, I think this is going to be all right.
Yeah,
I'm good.
Yeah, it kind of felt like a bait and switch, but maybe as time goes by, my thoughts will change for now. So like I said, I like the graphics, I like the aesthetics, I like the color palette, I like the dark tone. Just everything else just feels iffy right now. But that's all I gotta say.
So that was the conversation, I guess. So bye-bye.
See you guys.
Till next time.
Peace.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Bye-bye. See you next time. Let us know your thoughts in the comments.